Drabblecast B-Sides, Episode 43, The Parasite Parade, a children's book by Norm Sherman. If you could shrink tiny and drop down your own throat, like the tiniest of captains on the tiniest of boats, I bet you'd be shocked at the things that you saw in the dark and the damp of your damp and dark maw. Your body's a marvel, it's one of a kind, which is why countless scary small things live inside. They can't live in houses as most of us do, so they climb inside people like me and like you. Do you hear the band playing that merry old song, while the horns play the chorus and the crowd sings along? Down Main Street they march, that gay promenade. Which float is your favorite in the Parasite Parade? Skeletons are scary, most children agree, and there's one inside you that you can't even see. While monsters in closets are plenty to fear, what about ones that lay eggs in your ear? Under tonsils and toenails, on your eyeball or brow, odds are you've got millions of friends in you now. They lay eggs in your bedding or under your skin. Any hole in your body is a welcome sign in. So if you could shrink tiny and drop down your own throat and join the parade and be one of the floats, which one would you favor of all that came through? Let's shrink you down tiny and see which you'd choose. All aboard! That long, narrow tube you slid down in your schooner? That's a mucus-lined membrane. Bet you wish you'd asked sooner. Now we're in your tummy. And what's that over there? Why, a guinea worm larva, just the width of one hair. It got here by water flea, which is certainly proof that you shouldn't drink fleas, you big thirsty goof. Now a full year has passed. You see how it grew? It's 3 meters long now. How tall are you? Mama worm's growing, and she's run out of space. So she burrows on upwards to your hands, legs, or face. She causes a blister that burns night and day, till you dunk her in water, and her eggs can be laid. And so now we are swimming. Up ahead, what is this? It's a tongue-eating louse eating the tongue of a fish. Hey, Mr. Isopod, that's not very nice. Tongues may be for tasting, but not for you lice. Dear God, what's he doing? Why, he's settling in. He's attached to the tongue stub like some weird conjoined twin. And now when the fish eats, the louse gets to graze. And the fish has to live with a louse in his face. Next in the parade, what's this that we have? Saculina, a barnacle inside a hapless male crab. Emerging to show tunes and high thread count linens, it replaces the male crab parts with crab parts of women. Then it tweaks the crab's hormones, inciting it to dance in a way that makes dude crabs want to get in its pants. And after the male crabs have all had their way, Saculina's spread larva the most fabulous of ways. Now further on land, a moo cow is grazing, a soon-to-be host float that's rather amazing. She munches an ant on a tall blade of grass, and the ant has been waiting for this moment at last. See, the ant was a zombie, mind-controlled for some time, ever since eating sweet, sticky trails of snail slime from a snail quite infested by young lancet flukes, passed along as it feasted on steaming cow poops. Here's a fish known as Candyroo, just as small as can be. It swims up the place that you use to go pee. He roots himself down with a barbed dorsal rod, and you wail and you laugh, you'd believed once in God. There are hookworms and tapeworms. There are fungi and mites. There are stiltmen and dancers and a sky full of kites. There are tiny white worms neath the lids of your eyes that stream across your face even more when you cry. There are hot dogs and ice cream, hot air balloon rides. There are tootsies and rabies and warm apple pies. There are tubas and fireworks and knits in your hair. There are scabies and botflies, fun games in the square. Then the great grand finale, it's the grandest of floats. It's a big boy-sized captain in a big boy-sized boat, and all his new friends are there cheering him on, with confetti and larvae peppered all through the lawn. The zombie ant twitches and just stands there aloof. The Candyroo scratches his back on the roof. The guinea worm blisters and gives birth to her young, and the fish and the tongue lice sing together as one. The cow treats the snail to some hot, fresh manure. The flea swims the butterfly deep down in the sewers. The crabs and the barnacles all dance to some share, and they all wave goodbye as you take off in the air. Through long, narrow tubes, you travel once more, through mucus-lined membranes and slick sphincter doors, till lastly you're back and tucked safely in bed. Yet something still gnaws at the back of your head. And that's when you hear it, a faint, merry song, quite softly at first, then a little more strong. Then the bright sound of trumpets and the bang of a drum. The parade isn't over, why it's only just begun. The helminths, the nematodes, the bed bugs, the leech, they'll always be near you or close within reach. So together you march with the new friends you've made, as the grandest of floats in the Parasite parade.